So I know that these aren't the most exciting videos, and that's okay, because I do enough videos that people like, videos that get, you know, a decent amount of views, that I don't have to always do videos that everybody's going to like. And these types of videos that I think are important are those kind of videos that, you know, aren't going to be everybody's cup of tea. Anyway, it's talking more about the natural gas averted. So I guess they're calling it like national gas, whatever. And I still admit to you, I'm not sure what National Grid is compared to. I don't understand all of that, and I admit that. Okay. I'm not sure how that relates. Like when Kurt first told me about the National Grid lockout or something, I asked him, is that all companies? It is, right? It's kind of... Anyway, never mind me. We're going to do closed captions. Again, you know I wouldn't be talking about this in such detail if I didn't fucking live in Massachusetts and have gas in my house, okay? Just because I'm not Columbia Gas, that means nothing. They're not even saying this. That's what I'm not understanding if you're watching this, Kurt. You talked about not the grid lockout, okay? This is talking about the grid lockout in Woburn gas line problem, okay? It was averted. It could have been, you know, the same problem. But it could have been a disaster just like Merrimack Valley just a couple weeks ago, whatever it was, 3 weeks ago, I forget. Maybe it was a month ago. Probably was a month ago. Time goes by so fast. I thought the National Grid was all these companies, but now they're not mentioning a specific company. They're saying National Grid. You know, when Kurt told me about the National Grid lockout, that last time was Columbia Gas, so I don't understand. Feel free to enlighten me. In the meantime, I'm just going to read this. Alright, hundreds of homes are without... You know what I mean? It's like if it encompasses, National Grid encompasses all of them, then why aren't they telling what specific company did? I don't understand that part. Alright, hundreds of homes are without gas right now after lines were mistakenly overpressurized. Alright. National Grid is saying it is going to take some time to get everybody back online. Well, duh, we know that. That's how it always is. Now they read a new reporter to tell us how long. Again, this happened in Woburn this morning around 11:30. Okay. We learned that the gas will be out for days. This, as the state is now investigating National Grid's mistake today and its overall safety record. Our most important topic tonight is to get everyone back safely. Now, as this is going on, these union workers, I told you, National Grid puts profits before safety. They have a sign up there. These are the union workers. Hundreds of homes without gas in Woburn after lines were overpressurized. The identical thing that happened in the Merrimack Valley disaster, except this time it was caught in time. It was caught within a few minutes, but it was still the same fucking mistake, okay? Let's bear that in mind. Let's just keep that in mind. Now these people, right when they're all talking about this, they're over here, I told you. These are union workers being shut out. It's called a National Grid lockout. They want to work. They're not allowed to work while negotiations are being conducted. Okay, so they said, like I saw some video links that Kirk shared with me when the Merrimack Valley disaster happened. They said that I saw a guy in a video that we want to work, they won't let us. So this isn't like a strike where the workers are refusing to work. They won't let them work. And of course, National Grid is going to say, our contractors are perfectly capable of this, that, or whatever, yeah. And in a short amount of time, we've got this and this. Merrimack Valley Disaster, Woburn, you know, danger could have been really bad, you know. And what one of these union workers says is really good, and I don't want to misquote it, and that is why I am doing closed captions in what, you know, I realize a lot of my male fans who like to see my body and whatnot are going to find very boring. But then this video is not for you. The last couple of videos I recorded, I created not for you, and even the first two I created today, they might not be in the dark, but you know, kind of dark, but they don't show any skin or anything. And let's go. Okay. Now, National Grid's president is going to say, our replacement workers are perfectly fine. And the ones holding up this nice big blue sign, the union workers that are being locked out, National Grid puts profits before safety. So the National Grid president is a female. Again, maybe Kurt will watch this and enlighten me, or somebody else will. I'm not understanding how last time they say Columbia Gas, this time they're saying National Grid, but Kurt told me last time Columbia Gas is National Grid, it's all connected, so they're not giving us the specific company this time. I'm not understanding. You see where I'm coming from? I'm not understanding that little key piece of the puzzle. Anyway, I'm sure somebody will enlighten me, especially when I very kindly ask for enlightenment. You know. All right, some 330 homes will go cold for a few days, for days after a replacement worker. Like Kurt, yeah, Kurt, if you're watching this, they are being honest though. They're talking about the National Grid lockout and calling them replacement workers and etc. I didn't know when you first told me about this if they were trying to hide it all or something on local news. I don't know. Replacement worker. Overpressurize the gas line. Sound familiar, people? Who can just watch this from afar, don't have to worry, who don't live in Massachusetts. Oh my God. I'm sure these Woburn people were terrified. They said a lot of them didn't even know about it until they heard it on the news, and then National Grid's like, well, we put out a robocall. Yeah, but probably a lot of people didn't get the robocall. Anyway, you know, a disaster was averted, but that wouldn't necessarily be the case, and it's still, I'm sure, terrifying for the people living in Woburn. In that area that this happened. All right. It's a good sign, huh? National Grid places profits over safety. Profits over safety. I think that's that the site that the sign said? Profits over people or profits over safety? Oh, National Grid puts profits before safety. Good sign, whoever came up with it. If I can read another sign. Oh, it's too fast. Shame, shame, shame. They're over there, you know, on their National Grid thing. National Grid's president. Oh, it's the same sign. National Grid puts profits before safety. It's just a smaller sign. National Grid's president shouted down by her locked out union workers. I agree. They're putting profits over safety. I agreed when Kurt told me about this after that. I was questioning, you know, wondering how that Merrimack Valley Disaster had taken place. Of course, I was thinking all kinds of ominous things, and in the end, it's just human error. But the human who did the error is not a long-time worker. He's a replacement worker because they have shut out their long-time workers in what is called National Grid lockout. Okay, after replacement worker overpressurized the gas line. Again, I go back to the same thing. How the fuck is shit like this happening, people? And then, of course, you have the National Grid president. I assure you, this person is qualified. We all our workers are qualified. Yeah, but look what's happened in a short amount of time after the Merrimack Valley disaster happened. I think it shouldn't have happened again, let alone this soon. Sorry, call me crazy. All right, this was a member of management. This was a member of management that did this. It overpressurized the gas line in Woburn. Taking the place of union workers, caused the mistake and corrected it within minutes. Shouldn't have happened in the first place. Now this is a union worker. This is a union person, and again, they're negotiating, like you often hear about in strikes and stuff, but they're not striking. They want to continue working, and they're not being allowed to. Okay? Profits over safety. Now listen to what he says. He's awesome. I mean, I like what he says. Gas is nothing you practice on. You have to have professional people here that know what they're doing all the time. I would like to say they're practicing on the public. I agree with you. But now we're going to handle the blonde National Grid lockout, National Grid president, Marcy Reed, and she's going to just counteract everything this union guy just said. I have complete confidence in the workforce we have on the ground, and I know they will get through it properly. And then Sean says, this is the reporter says, National Grid calling its replacement workers fully qualified and capable of doing the job. And who am I going to agree with? Considering what happened in Merrimack Valley very recently, what happened today in Woburn. Who am I going to agree with, her or the people who, the long-time workers who are saying National Grid puts profits over safety? You know damn well, I keep talking about this. It's all about money, 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 money. You know? Look at those asshole running Prestige limo, who's conveniently out of the country right now, and who, if he knows if he's going to be criminally charged, he probably just won't come back. Because someone like that, this isn't an accident. He blatantly was putting limos on the road that, I mean, the one that just killed 20, it was inspected last month and failed inspection. You think he's somebody who won't, like, skip the country if he knows he has even a chance of being criminally charged? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay, so, doesn't matter what Marcy Reed says, the Department of Public Utility has decided, fuck this. Okay? They have placed a moratorium on all work except for emergency and compliance work across the company's entire service territory, pending the results of DPU's review of National Grid safety practices, Department of Public Utilities. Order moratorium on all work. Oh, this is what I just read up there. Across the company's entire service territory, pending the results of DPU's review. Of course she's going to say, this is what Marcy Reed is saying, because safety is our top priority, we respect that. We will fully comply with all their wishes. You have no choice. I was going to say the B word, but I held myself back, by the way. You have no choice, Marcy Reed, but to fully comply with all their wishes, the DPU's wishes. Reporter, National Grid saying it understands the sensitivity after the Columbia gas explosions. Yeah, no kidding. And this happened in Woburn so soon after the Columbia gas explosions. I'm tending to lean towards these union workers who have been saying all along, apparently in the video links that I didn't watch because I have other more important shit to do, but I looked at them and stuff, and I watched a little bit of what Kurt shared with me whenever this Merrimack Valley thing happened a few weeks ago, whatever. that they predicted something like that would happen. They were saying, you know, bad things are going to happen. They predicted that Merrimack Valley thing was going to happen. And then this morning, this could have been another disaster we could have been hearing about, okay? It was the exact same human error, but merely this time caught in time, caught and fixed within a few minutes. Unbelievable. You know, in my book, it doesn't make it any better just because they caught this one and didn't catch the last one. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be happening, period. Get it? Because some people will say, well, nobody got hurt. That's what the president, National Grid president, nobody got hurt. Everybody's safe. I know. But that doesn't reassure people. It doesn't make it any better. You're across across Massachusetts, you know? I mean, I wonder if there's just intentionally saying it's National Grid and not saying the specific company like they did with Columbia. I'm not understanding that part, but I think one or more of my viewers will tell me. Okay, National Grid saying it understands the sensitivity after the Columbia gas explosions. The DPU now investigating all gas companies across Massachusetts, across the state's entire pipeline. It says we apologize for this. I don't know. Anyway, it's a cool night. Yeah, we know. People are without gas. They're without heat. Some 300 plus people in Woburn are without heat. Cool night for many. The company says all gas should be restored by Thursday. Great point. It's a cool night. Yeah, we know. I guess it's not going to get cold. It's going to get warm tomorrow. So, like I said, most people are just... It's pretty inconvenient for those families. Oh, no, I don't want to talk about that. It's just showing how I didn't watch that part. But you see where I'm coming from? There's talking about National Grid. Last time they focused solely on Columbia gas and didn't even really touch on this thing with the union workers and this, because I remember I taped all that too when I was watching it and doing closed caption. They didn't touch on that, but now that's probably been brought to light. You know, the public's been aware of it, so they can't pretend it's not happening. But they're not mentioning the specific gas company. National Grid's not a gas company, right? I'm not understanding that part, because this time they're just saying National Grid, whereas last time they focused on Columbia Gas, because they were the culprits. You get it? But they're saying they're investigating gas companies all across. Whereas I was led to believe National Grid's not a company. I thought National Grid is like a thing that encompasses all the companies. See, that's the part I don't get. I guarantee you, if Kurt watches this, he will be able to enlighten me in a manner that I will understand, just as he did regarding the Merrimack Valley disaster of a couple, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whenever it was, a few weeks ago. All right. Anyway. I said to Kurt, I said to you guys, I live here in Massachusetts. It can happen anywhere, and lo and behold, I think Woburn's not close to those other ones either. You know, it can happen anywhere. It's all across the Massachusetts. It's all the gas company. It can happen anywhere, but the fact that it happened so soon after the Merrimack Valley disaster, you know, it's disconcerting to say the least. But I said to Kurt, how do I know it won't happen here? And he's like, you don't. Then he's trying to explain to me how I can shut off my own. I wouldn't know how to do that. I would explode in this house before I could figure out what Kurt's talking about and do what he's talking about. All right? Ain't going to happen. All right? That party, I didn't understand. I read it. I didn't understand it. He was trying to be kind since I live here in Massachusetts. He was trying to be helpful and explain to me, well, here's what you can do if this, that, or I wouldn't even dream of doing that. What I would do is just get the fuck out with me and Omar. I wouldn't dream of trying to fiddle around with anything. I'm just making a point. I live here in Massachusetts. This can happen anywhere. I'm not sure how many miles there are between, you know, the Merrimack Valley and Woburn. I'm racking my brain here. I think they're far apart, though. I mean, Massachusetts isn't that big, but you know what I mean? They're not next to each other, I don't think. But the whole point is, they're saying National Grid, but I thought National Grid is not a gas company. It's something to do with all the gas companies, all the utility companies. Am I right about that? I'm not understanding that part, that little piece of the puzzle. All I know is on Merrimack Valley, they focused on Columbia and didn't mention National Grid, and now they're mentioning National Grid as if it's a gas utility company, but I thought it's not. Okay. Woburn families preparing for a few days without gas at home. Well, it's supposed to be warm here in the next couple of days, so that's good, right? But there apparently it's taking, oh, by the way, if you're watching this, Kurt, it's apparently taking a long time for these union negotiations for them to reach some sort of agreement, isn't it? How long is it going to take? You know, what's to say that something bad like Merrimack Valley Disaster won't happen in the middle of winter? Or something like this that's a disaster averted, but still, it's going to be a different story if people are without gas in the middle of winter. These people are just staying in their houses. Apparently, some of them were recommended that you leave, but I think most people are just going to stay in their houses and tough it out, you know. I wonder how many people who do vlogs like I do actually talk directly to their viewers by name, which I do here and there. I wouldn't know. I'm just, you know, surmising, just guessing. And Kurt always tries to be very helpful. But he did write a comment, something about, you know, and there's no guarantee, you're right, there's no guarantee it won't happen in your area. He's trying to explain what I could do about, I don't know, it ain't happening, that's all I could say. If there's any danger of anything, you just get the fuck out. I wouldn't know how to do whatever he was saying anyway, trying to explain to me. Know how to do that. I can't even figure out how to put that crib I bought for my mom for her dolls and stuffed animals I bought from Walmart. I didn't even try to figure it out. I opened up the box and without opening up the plastic bag inside the box, saw all those pieces. I'm like, fuck that. I know I'm not going to be able to do it. But of course I didn't even try. So perhaps I could do it if I tried. I didn't want to try. My mom's friends wound up putting it together, 2 of them. Apparently it didn't take that long, but I'm just not good at that kind of shit. Any of it. I'm just not good at it. Hey. Bottom line is, end result is, even if I didn't do it, I got it for her and someone else put it together. My mom didn't have to pay him because it was a friend. And she's got her nice little crib for her dolls and stuffed animals. It doesn't hold all of them, but it holds enough of them. It doesn't matter, she wanted it, so. Oh, that's funny. I can't, did Trump really ever like Taylor Swift's music? A little thing popped up. It said, in response to Taylor Swift saying she's going to vote Democrat, whatever. She's never been involved in politics yet, because she's young. I never voted or got involved in politics until much later in my life. Oh, these people in Woburn must have been terrified. I'm sure they're considering themselves fortunate, though, because it could have been a lot worse. They can't cook, and they have no heat, don't have hot water and heat. It won't be for that long. I'm sure they consider themselves fortunate. I would, if I were right in their shoes. I don't know, maybe it stopped and that's why that thing... Anyway, it says, something Trump says he likes Taylor Swift's music 25% less now. I wonder if he even ever liked her music in the first place. It doesn't seem like that would be his type of music, so maybe he's just being, you know, funny. He didn't say he hates it, he's like, well, I like it now 25% less now that she made her little comments. Improvising without a stove, furnace, hot water heater. Yeah, well, me and my mom went through the same thing for 45 hours of pure hell here, and it was the middle of winter, and it got down to, eventually at the end, 30-something degrees. So, blizzard of 2013. Me and my mom and Angel and Omar. I have the pictures to prove it. Mom had Angel in her bedroom, I had Omar in mine, and at the very end, it got down all the way to like 36 degrees in this place. It was hell. Without question, it was hell. But we weren't going to take the two dogs to friggin', you know, the National Guard came by, you know, you take people to shelter. I'm not going to friggin' shelter, we'll tough it out. We toughed it out. I already told you about this. You freeze your ass off, you can see your breath inside the house, you run to go piss or whatever, you run to grab something real quick to eat, and then you get under as many covers as you can. And she had Angel for body for warmth, and I had Omar, and you know, and I have pictures. All online too. Me and my hat and coat and gloves and all the 9 yards holding all my meat. Something else. And then this past winter, there was a repeat of that, but just not as bad. It was just me here, as you know. It didn't get down, it only got down to like 50-something degrees, which is bad enough, but it's not, you know. Or maybe it got down to, I don't know, you couldn't see your breath anyway. I forget, I tracked that too. And it wasn't 45 hours. Still sucked, but it wasn't as bad. Still sucked, it wasn't as bad. I think it would have been, I don't know, if you guys watch my videos, I don't know, 29 hours, I don't know, in the end. But at least it didn't go down to 30-something degrees, you know. Ugh. It is supposed to be warm here in Massachusetts on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then we're supposed to get torrential downpours. We're supposed to get rain anyway, but we might be somewhat, our rain might intensify because of Michael, Hurricane Michael. That's what my newscaster is saying. Oh, they're saying it's supposed to be warm. That's what I'm saying. The timing was certainly convenient, but it's still scary. Tomorrow's going to warm up again. Tomorrow and Wednesday is going to be warm. Oh, see, I just said that to you without reading it, and now it's saying the same thing I just said. Tomorrow and Wednesday is going to be warm. I said Tuesday and Wednesday. And the reporter, the timing was certainly convenient, but the memory of another recent gas mishap is fresh in everyone's mind. No kidding. You get a little leery after what happened up in Andover and Lawrence. I know. This mistake was caught early, sparing families devastating damage, but putting another community on edge as another utility scrambles to restore service and trust. So that's what I'm saying. National Grid's not a utility company, right? They encompass all of them. But I don't know how that works. It's going to be a while before they can turn it back on. Like one of them said to me, we can't just flip a switch. Yeah. And it's no excuse for it to have happened in the first place. We never used to hear about this kind of shit happening. That led some credence to what the union workers are saying about how you're playing around with people's lives, you know, for sake of profits. The gas company says it will reimburse families for reasonable expenses as they. So why is it saying gas company, people, and not saying the name of the gas company? Can you explain that to me? Can you explain that to me, please? Enlighten me, please. So yeah, when this happened, of course, they had to go they have to turn up the gas instantly, of course, and then they have to do the same thing before. They have to go house to house and inspect and turn it back on. They had to get locksmiths for people's houses who weren't home, and they still have a lot more to do. Okay, it could be a long few days, says the reporter. Okay, the gas company says, why are they saying the gas company, not telling us what one? They're postponing it. The gas company says it will reimburse families for reasonable expenses as they fix their gas lines, live in Woburn. Now it's going to say, Kurt, National Grid lockout began July 1st. 1,250 union workers off the job. 116 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Oh, so it's not all of Massachusetts. How do you know if you're among the city and towns that's involved? I'm sure they're out there protesting the union workers and saying, we warned you this would happen. And now it's happened twice in a short amount of time. And the Woburn residents are lucky that this wasn't another, they averted another potentially deadly or disaster. It was caught in time, but that doesn't change the fact the same exact mistake was made. Sickening. Ed, the reporter, Channel 5. National Grid has replacement workers out on jobs currently, which they say are qualified to do the job. Yeah. National Grid grass workers experience equals public safety. The sign I'm reading. I can't believe all this was going on behind the scenes. But of course, I don't know anything about this till Kurt told me about it, so I'm ignorant. Back when and I'm just thinking, I was asking Joe, was it intentional? Was it terrorism? I mean, what's going on? Never seen anything like this. It's happening on the TV right now. Okay, National Grid has replacement workers out on jobs currently, which they say are qualified to do the job. Of course they're going to say that. The utility company is National Grid a utility company? In which case, what would happen? Why did Kurt say National Grid lockout? What would that have to do with Columbia Gas? I'm not understanding this. I thought National Grid was not a utility company in and of itself. I thought it encompasses all of them or something. or a lot of them. Okay, National Grid has replacement workers out on jobs currently, which they say are qualified to do the job. The utility company locking out union workers on the 1st of July, when a new contract couldn't be reached. 1,250 members of 2 United Steel Workers unions are currently off the job and without health insurance. National Grid covers 116 cities and towns here in Massachusetts. So what did National Grid have to do with Columbia Gas? I'm asking you guys to enlighten me, okay? In Massachusetts. Okay, this is Maria Stefan. Okay, now to the Merrimack Valley, where it has now been 25 days, okay, so it's been almost a month, since that gas line disaster. Columbia Gas saying starting tomorrow they'll be installing replacement appliances. I thought Columbia Gas was taken off the job by Governor Baker and Eversource was put in their place in response to their poor, he felt poor response to it all, to the disaster, and they couldn't, anyway. Alright, so they're going to, appliance replacement. Immediate installation, hundreds already ordered, 1.16 million paid out. Prior to that, workers have been checking out homes, condemning appliances. Columbia Gas says it has received or ordered hundreds of water heaters, boilers, clothes dryers, and stoves. Installation will be free. Well, duh. The company says it has already paid out $1.16 million in claims today, their largest single day total to date. Now they're turning to Hurricane Michael, already starting to cause some flooding. Alright. Huh. So I do understand a lot of this, but I don't understand the piece of the puzzle where National Grid has anything to do with Columbia Gas, and I thought National Grid encompasses a whole bunch of companies, you know. Like, I'm not understanding that, so. Anyway. Well, we'll see what happens.